It's always a good afternoon and great company. Montreal Now with Aaron Rand on CJAD 800.
All right, happy to be back. Hope you're having or had a nice summer vacation. If you haven't, if you're all set to go, then hey, have fun. You know what? I'm trying to catch up on as much news as I could over the time that I was away. And I saw this story over the weekend and I thought, every time I see a story like this, I'm like, I can't believe this happened again. You feel terrible for the people it happened to and wonder why this keeps happening, because every time a story like this goes public, you think people learn from it. But it turns out this is happening a lot more than we actually know. And sadly, it's happening and happened to people here. This time, it's a woman who had $6,000 stolen from her and her partner's bank account over a phone scam. And again, you know, when I see phone scam, I think we've reported on stories like these far too many times. But they keep happening. So thankfully, Sue Meyer is on the line, and it was okay to talk to us about this. Sue, first of all, I feel terrible for what you went through, but hopefully this is a warning to others, because as I said, these things seem to be so prevalent now. People need to just be paying attention. It could happen to anyone as it did to you. Yours started out the way so many do, from what I understand, but I'll get you to tell the story. You get a phone call, right? Trying to convince you, and this is a woman, by the way, trying to convince you that she worked for the TD Bank and she was trying to help you because there had been suspicious activity, I put that in quotation marks, in your bank account. How did it go from there? What happened?
Well, first of all, we sort of weren't surprised because we've had calls from TD before when there's been someone trying to take something out or there's been something going on, and they say, were you there? And we say no, and they just erase it. So that wasn't a surprise to get a call. And she was very nice and very personable. And then she said, we're going to transfer you over to the SQ officer who's in charge of the case. They have arrested the person that we want to present the case in court with as much information as we can. So Pat, my partner, got sent over to the supposed SQ, who went through the same thing, telling her about it and telling her how this man had done this before and they really wanted to get him this time and we could help them and yada, yada, yada. So as it, evolved, they got PIN numbers from her, and then the person said, now there's a policeman coming to see you, to talk to you, and at the same time he would like to pick up your cards, your bank cards, and your Visa card, and take them to the judge so the judge can see them. And
hold on.
Yeah.
He wants to pick up your Visa card to take it to the judge so the judge can see it?
Yeah.
That didn't ring any alarm bells?
Well, no, at the time. See, what happened was they spent about 2 hours on the phone constantly talking at her and constantly saying, oh, yeah, we feel sorry for you, we're going to help you, and then joking and telling stories, and then it was like a conversation. So she did say at one point, because the woman asked for the PIN numbers, and she said, well, don't you have them? And the woman said, no, we don't have them because our service is out of service. Is out of service,
computer,
so we can't get to them.
Conveniently, their system was down.
Yeah,
I see.
Exactly. And then when they got the cards, it was because the police officer wanted to pick them up, but they have a new code since COVID that said he cannot take anything from you directly. So you need to put it in your mailbox.
Wow. This is quite the story and quite the. Wow. They worked up a story here.
It was an incredible story, and finally, I came home, and they were still on the phone, so I picked up the phone and called TD Fraud, and then talked to this guy who was still on the phone, and he said, oh, hi, the policeman's just at your corner now. He's coming around, and he'll be there. And I said, just stop talking. He's not coming. There is no policeman. This is a scam. I talked to TD Fraud, and he went click. And that was the end of that.
And that entire time, so you said this took over 2 hours? They played you for 2 hours?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Not me, but yeah.
No, right.
They
I understood
played her.
Your partner, yeah.
And, but it was just, you wouldn't believe. It was just like on and on and on, and nice and friendly, and, you think you're going to help them find this guy and get rid of the problem. However, so then, yeah.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
I made a claim to TD. It got turned down So I made an appeal, which also got turned down. But because of this article, what I saw in the article is about the fact that TD follows the Canadian debit card code, which makes exception for people giving their PINs or their cards away when it's deception, whether it's trickery or coercion or force or intimidation. Then they're not considered voluntarily disclosed. And I'm going to use that for my second appeal and try and hopefully get my money back.
First of all, how much money did they get?
$6,000.
Right. I think I said that off the top.
They took three times. They took it out before it got closed.
And by the way, did that other person, that alleged police officer, did someone actually show up at your door, or by virtue of, no, they never came?
No. But there was, I'm sure, during the call, there was time when they asked for the cards, they asked her to put them in the mailbox, etc. I'm sure that there was someone outside
waiting,
near our house. We're opposite a park and a sports center, and there's lots of picnic benches and lots of people, and I'm sure he was out there waiting for her to put them in the mailbox, and then he got them and he left.
Yeah. By the way, with respect to your appeal, who do you appeal to now? Is this the bank?
It's the fraud team. Yes, it's through the bank. And the first two times was through an encrypted email. And then when they said the second time we weren't accepted, we have to go, I think it's through TD Fraud in Toronto, which perhaps is their head office, I don't know. And so that's another way of doing it.
Can I ask, you're the one who kind of, bust this thing up when you finally got back. I mean, she must feel terrible, obviously, about this and embarrassed as well. So
she's devastated because she does all the accounting for our family. She does all the stuff, and she's never had a problem before. This was one of those days that and the people involved, the story was so real. It was just crazy.
It's interesting as I hear you say this, I think to myself, pardon me, you would have thought that for scammers, the idea would be to keep you on the phone for as little as possible, not as much as possible. That's exactly the opposite of what happened here.
That's right. But I think part of it was they were forming a relationship.
Yeah.
And the relationship
based on trust. And
it turned out to be a good relationship, she thought. And but then it was turned around.
Okay. I would ask you, kind of what the message is here to anybody else listening. I think I said this off the top, Sue. We've heard too many stories like this. The idea is, as soon as someone says, I'm calling from the bank, should that raise your suspicion and say, well, if you're calling from the bank, I will call you back just to make sure, end of story?
Exactly, and not to the number they gave you, to the bank number, to find out if that person actually exists and if they're actually calling because of our account. And, we would find out that they don't exist and no, they're not calling about something wrong with it. So that's the thing to do, is to immediately, whoever it is, say, I'll call you back.
Banks never call. I think that's sort of my key. I don't think I've ever received a phone call directly from a bank with a problem. It never works that way. But look, at the end of all this, I wish you luck. I hope the appeal works.
Thanks.
and I would just, I would warn people again, this kind of stuff, it doesn't go away, right? We mentioned a story, someone finds out that they got scammed for money and yet it happens again. I'm sure they must be doing this hundreds of times a day from some call center somewhere. So, by the way, did you hear from once the story went public, did you start hearing from people or neighbors or friends?
Saying that it happened to them or just here? No, I didn't. But the woman who wrote the article has heard from a couple of people who've gone through the same thing, and she's going to continue, researching and hopefully write another article about it.
All right.
So to me, that's a gain. That's great that happened. That's what we were trying to do with the article, was just to get it out there.
Which we have done. Sue, I thank you so much for the time. Very much appreciated. Wish you luck.
Thanks, Aaron.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, there you go. Again, one of those stories where, and again, I was fascinated by that because she said, and this was in the article, imagine the scammer for 2 hours on the phone with you, building trust, building a relationship, all to make you think less and less that it might be a scam. That's what's involved in these things. It's kind of mind-boggling, right? But there you go. Be aware. Be alert. Bank's not calling you. 418.
Hey, Hey, I'm Ruby Carr, the host of the podcast Encore. Check out our brand new episodes featuring music from the show that everyone is reheating as we speak, Heated Rivalry. Join me as I go behind the songs that brought Shane and Elia together. I'll tell you the stories of Feist, My Moon, My Man, Wolf Parade's I'll Believe in Anything, and Tattoo's All the Things She Said, and how they all became a part of this global phenomenon. Stream Encore on iHeartRadio, Crave, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Montreal Now with Aaron Rand
Where questions go to meet their answers.
on CJAD 800.
Look, Mr. Carney has caved again and again and again to Mr. Trump's demands without getting anything in return. We all understand that negotiations come with compromise, but you don't cave 7 or 8 times before even getting to the negotiating table and without getting anything in return. Canada has leverage. Let's use it. Whether it's alcohol on our shelves, let's use that all as positive leverage to get what we want, which is an end to American tariffs. No more caving, no more unilateral concessions without any gains in return. Use our leverage at the table to get the win.
Okay, that's conservative leader, obviously, Pierre Poilievre. I think it's all well and good to say use our leverage. I don't know what leverage we have. We're a tiny little country compared population-wise to the U.S., so where's our leverage there in terms of an economy? I don't know. But it's interesting, the latest round here of tariffs, and by the way, when he says get rid of tariffs are not going away. The Trump administration has made it very clear it's not about eliminating tariffs. The best we can do is if there are concessions made, if we make some and they make some, they will reduce the tariffs. So if we're paying, 25% on something, maybe they'd reduce it to 10 or 15, and that would be a win. Because tariffs, according to this administration, Donald Trump, he said the word, he said, I love that word tariffs. They are not going away. That's an unrealistic goal to have walking into negotiations, right? You want something, you get a little something, you give up a little something. And I think in this case, alcohol is one of those things. I get this whole idea, and I'm reading your text. You're all saying the same thing we said when I first asked this a month ago about, could we put the U.S. alcohol back on the shelves? It's turned out to be a major problem. It's costing the economy there, at least in those particular regions that produce alcohol, a lot of money, to the point where Donald Trump actually was made aware of this, because I don't think he had a clue at the beginning that this was going on. So if that's a concession we can make, put it back. The U.S. argument remains now, as far as alcohol goes, hey, you're not preventing any other countries from selling their alcohol in your stores. Why are you singling out the U.S.? That seems unfair. Okay. But none of you seem to be agreeing with me. I'm in very much the minority here. And by the way, this is the same across the country. Angus Reid did a poll. Only 7% of Canadians believe our government, the Canadian government, should make concessions to the U.S. 7%. Clearly, I'm in the minority. And even your text, as I said, this one, Aaron, absolutely no concessions to Trump. If they want concessions, they drop their illegal tariffs. Absolutely no quarter. Trump can go to hell. That's from Eric. Well, that's not going to get us very far. He also adds, by the way, it'll be a cold day in hell before I ever buy American wine or alcohol. That's fine. You don't have to. That's the point I'm trying to make here as well. In this one specific area, put the U.S. liquor back on shelves. No one's making you buy it. If you want to do your own elbows up, you can. Buy whatever else you want to buy. Just because it's there, you're not forced to purchase it. So why don't we do that? It's a concession. We get something back. I think that's a fair thing to do, but apparently none of you do. Let me go here to Joe. Joe, what do you think?
Well, from day one, this elbows up stuff was a total joke. I blamed Carney. He went there as a bully. Europe shut up. Mexico shut up. We were sent as the small kid of the back of the yard to the bully, asked him to fight. He gets beaten up. He comes back. Now he's giving up. It's a total joke. We're too small. We're nothing. Geographically, we cannot sell what we sell to the U.S. to the rest of the world. It's impossible. So
wait, but you're taking the other approach, which is we should just roll over and play dead, and whatever we get, we get.
No, what we should do, to tell you the truth, frankly, I would say if I was Carney, I'm going to remove all the tariffs I put on the U.S., you remove yours, Trump.
That's not going to happen, Joe. We both know that. Game. Okay. Joe, thank you for the call. Steve, what about you?
First of all, I think, Aaron, thank you for taking my call. First of all, I don't think we should give too many more concessions. I don't think we should put alcohol back on the shelf. And I think we should probably increase their hydro rates. Eastern Canada, we're supplying most of northern United States. And just to get a little bit off topic, I'm getting fed up with this Polyev, okay, going on and on and on, that, Carney's giving everything to the Americans. Can you imagine this clown Prime Minister of Canada? Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't he the same person 5 years ago during the pandemic bringing donuts and coffee to the truckers?
Yeah.
By the way, most of them American troublemakers from south of the border. Imagine this clown Prime Minister. Carney's doing a super job, but I think it gets to a point you got to play a little bit of hardball. I mean, this Trump is acting like a schoolyard bully. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's Trump. You have to recognize that's who you're dealing with here, I think, right? We know who he is. There's no surprise here. I think if you give a little, can we expect to get a little? And as someone else said, even if we do, where's the guarantee? The answer to that, of course, is there is none. But that doesn't mean I don't think we should not offer some kind of concession. Steve, thank you for the call. Debbie, what about you?
No concessions.
Never. Nothing.
No. You know what? If you do decide, if they make this concession, so these poor little people have to buy the alcohol and put it on the shelves, and none of us are going to buy it, so who's out? The poor little people who have had to buy it because they were told we're bringing back
what poor little people are you referring to who have to buy U.S. alcohol?
No, I'm just saying if they're given this concession and we have to sell American liquor here again.
You don't have to buy it.
No, we don't have to buy it, but what about the companies who have to import it? If he's gonna say, okay, you are now supposed to be selling it, now you have to buy some from here. So if they do buy some and we don't buy it,
they get stuck with
out.
it? I see. I hadn't really thought of that, to be honest. I mean, I know now by not selling it, companies that bought it, the provincial liquor boards, are sitting on this stuff. It's costing them millions to store. A lot of it is going to have to be eventually gotten rid of because it will go bad. That doesn't seem to me to be a winning situation either. Debbie, I appreciate the call. Let me go to Jerry. Jerry, what about you? What do you think?
Don Rowe Doctrine. It's a spin-off from the Monroe Doctrine, which stipulates that the Western Hemisphere belongs to the U.S. And I believe every country in the Western Hemisphere has gotten this point other than Canada. Our economy is smaller than the economy of Texas. And we want to go to an economic war with these people, go into a fight with an economy that is 100 times the size of ours. And again, to your point, Aaron, when you're talking about giving them you're conceding the alcohol on the shelves, I assure you, once we concede that alcohol, Donald Trump will come up with a new tariff for something else that he wants.
But you see, and there's a key point, and thank you for that, by the way. Just because we make, you know what it is with Donald Trump, right? It's one thing one day, another thing the other day. And I think, you're right to a point. We give a concession as far as alcohol goes. There'll be something else another time. But I think we have to risk that in order to try to move the ball forward. Because if we don't, and maybe he's bluffing, they say Trump always chickens out. There's a possibility that all these goods that are named in this latest round of tariffs, and they cover everything, including, gym, sports equipment, plastics, ceramics, furniture. Do we want to really be looking at 50% tariffs for those things? I think that answer is clearly no. So if it involves doing something, a small concession, I think we need to do it. And I hate to say this, and literally hope for the best, because there are no guarantees. I think you're right. I appreciate the call. Thank you. Let me go over here. This is Mandy. Mandy, are you there?
No,
I'm sorry. It's Frank. Frank, go ahead.
No, it's Michael.
Oh, Michael. I was close.
You guys are close. Welcome back, Aaron.
Thank you.
Look, no, we should not. I'm sorry. No bending the knee. If Trump were, let's say, some monicum of a normal world leader, yes, of course small concessions would work. But it just seems like every time he has a problem, we're going to go through his list of grievances. This isn't a negotiation. It's more like a extortion with customs form. Like, yes, Canada, we are smaller than the U.S., but we are not powerless. I don't know why everybody thinks that we can't hold our own. We have energy, critical minerals, agriculture, all kinds of stuff that the U.S. really would like. And just because if we surrender every time Washington turns up the pressure, the tariffs may eventually disappear, but so does any leverage that we have.
So, okay, so if we use that, and I understand what you're saying, I'm sure there are a lot of people who agree with you. How does this play out? Where's the end game in all this?
The end game, listen, we're going to he may chicken out, he may not, but unfortunately, the only end game is when his term finishes, and we have to deal with a new administration, or someone who knows how to think linearly rather than ADD as a coin-operated president. Listen, sovereignty is not cheap. And we are not going to, I don't think we should let this man treat Canada like a branch of the United States government as much as he wants. And I think we should hold our own.
Okay. I see, to me, I think we can bend, but we don't have to break, if I can put it in those terms.
If he was a normal person, yes. But if we bend a little bit, Trump's the type of guy who would kick us while we're down.
Okay. I'm not going to disagree. I think that's, maybe true. Michael, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Steve, tell me what you think.
Yeah, I'm with Trudy Mason 100%. Not only will I not buy any American goods unless they're those delicious cherries from Washington State, but I won't go there to visit, even though I used to love New York and Vermont and Maine. Until Trump is gone, no visiting.
Okay.
And if he wants to like make good with us, you got to get rid of the tariffs on aluminum, steel, software.
Well, wait. What if he, Steve? What if he simply says he's not getting rid of tariffs? I think we have to understand that off the top. What if he said he would reduce it? Is that a win?
Depends how much.
Okay.
Like right now, aluminum is at 50%. If he goes down to 5 or 10, I say okay.
Well, there we go. That's what I'm hoping for. By the way, you talking about Rainier cherries, the Mount Rainier cherries?
Oh yeah,
those are the best. Tell me where to get them.
Oh my God!
Let me know where to buy them. Thank you for the call, Frank. What about you, real quick? Oh, I'm sorry, Mandy. Go ahead. Hi, Mandy.
Hi.
Mandy Robertson from our wine program here on CJAD. Did I get something wrong?
No. I've been listening very carefully to what everyone's been saying, and I do want to say something really quickly, and I know everyone is going to disagree, and I may not be super popular with my opinion, but I think it would be okay for American wines to return to SAQ shelves. I completely understand why they were moved in the first place. I supported it. But now I'd like us to start thinking, or the way I see it is I think about the people. I think about the winemakers, the farmers, because, they are farmers first. And as someone who's worked in the wine industry for years, I know that American wines didn't also just affect people in the U.S. It affected a lot of Canadians here as well, their jobs, whether they were agencies, whether they were sales representatives. There are Canadians who really paid the price too. Wine, it's very different from any other products. It's not just a commodity because it's culture, it's history, it's agriculture, it's family business, and behind every single bottle it tells a story of a place and the people who made it. Now, I've been really fortunate enough to visit tons of wineries in North America and in the U.S., and many of these people, I know them personally. Yeah. They're not politicians.
No, they're small business owners, right?
Yeah, there's some, I had a friend of mine, when all this happened, he's like, we just had about $40,000 worth of orders shipped back to us. Now, these are two guys. They're like boutique wineries. They've got families to support. And I understand why everybody is saying, don't put it back. We don't have to buy
That's just
US
it.
wines.
That's exactly it. You don't have to buy it. No one's forcing you to buy it if you go buy your wine.
That is still our choice as consumers.
Yeah.
If you want to support Canadian wines, I absolutely encourage that. Wonderful. But I think we need, or should have the freedom to choose, because there's so much. I kind of miss my Oregon Pinot Noir. I miss my New York Riesling. At the same time, incredibly proud of the winemaking here in Canada. But I think two things can exist at the same time. And I think if we have to bend a little bit, we should at some point. This trade dispute's going to end. Canada and the U.S. will have to continue to be neighbors and friends and trading partners. And I think we've got to start rebuilding those relationships. I mean, hopefully there's only a couple other years to go. Yeah. But I think it's time.
Mandy, I appreciate the call. Always do. That's Mandy Robertson. She hosts our wine show here on weekends here on CJD. I agree with her. As I said earlier on, I know a lot of you, and I'm still reading texts, absolutely not, never, not going to happen, no, elbows up. Okay, that's fine. But if we get something in return for what we're willing to give up, that's how negotiations are supposed to play out. It's not one-sided. It has to work both ways. If we can do that, I'm all for that. Thank you for your calls. Appreciate your texts on this one as well. We'll see where this goes. By the way, we'll find out pretty soon These tariffs, the new ones at 50%, are supposed to kick in August 19th. Although if I had to kind of take a guess, I imagine what's going to happen, and it's happened before, is we'll get a delay. He'll say things are going okay, we're talking, and I'm going to put him off for another 30 days. He's done that before as well. Let's go.
Unmistakably Canadian.
It's the music that raised you.
The artists raising the bar.
Hi, this is Brian Adams.
Hey, my name's Brett Emmons. I'm from the Glorious Sons.
Hi, I'm Nelly Furtado.
Made in Canada. The station that champions Canadian music.
Loud, proud, and all yours.
No passports required. Just press play.
Tap into Made in Canada now on iHeartRadio.ca
or the free iHeartRadio app.
Now,
it's time to play the news quiz.
Brought to you by Empire Gold.
60 seconds, 10 questions,
a $1,500 prize.
All right, I think we have Stanley on the line to play the game. Hi, Stanley. How are you?
All right. How are you doing,
I'm
Eric?
doing pretty good, thank you. You ready to give this a whirl?
Yeah, I might as well.
Okay. Our first question today, and again, I've been away for a couple of weeks, so I'm not really up to date on the news. I try to get caught up as much as I could. So you have to excuse me if some of these questions go back a couple of days, okay? You don't mind?
No problem.
Okay, thanks, Stanley. Stanley, what West Island deli declared bankruptcy after 52 years in business?
Chinois?
Yeah, Chinois is done on the West Island. Was it 1974? Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. All right, here's the deal. 9 questions, 60 seconds. Get them all right, you win yourself $1,500. Failing that, it's $15 for every right answer. If you don't know an answer, remember, you can always say pass and come back to it if time remains. But if you answer a question incorrectly, remember as well, you can't come back and change it. So if you're not sure, use the option and just say pass. The clock will start as soon as you say that you are ready. So Stanley, are you ready?
I is ready.
What is
the newest tracks? Let's go. New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice. Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers.
I think we need something new.
Discover iHeart New Music. Always fresh, always first. Stream now on the free iHeartRadio app.
The deadline for the next round of threatened American tariffs against Canada?
August 17th.
No, sir. The RCMP say they prevented how many stolen cars from being shipped out of Canada last year? 400, 500, or 700?
500.
No, sir. The provincial Liberals announced 2 high-profile candidates last week. One was Michel LeBlanc. Who was the other? Montreal Alouettes quarterback Davis Alexander set a CFL record for wins to start a career. How many wins does he have?
He has right now.
Yeah.
He has 19.
That is correct. What is the name of the parasite found in a foodborne illness that has sickened over 100 Quebecers so far this summer?
No idea.
The parasite, what's it called? You don't know? What movie set a box office record over the weekend for the biggest opening weekend in movie history last week?
Spider-Man?
Yes. What Montreal-based online food delivery service has declared bankruptcy as well?
No idea.
Legendary Canadian TV news anchor Lloyd Robertson passed away last week. How old was he?
92.
Yes. According to the most recent jobs report, how many jobs did Canada add last month?
5,000.
Pick a number between 74 and 76,000. Any guess at all?
75.
That is correct. 75,000 jobs. So close to your original answer. How many is that, Brian?
5 correct answers.
$75 for you, Stanley. Not bad for a phone call. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Aaron.
You bet. There you go. We'll do this all week, and hopefully I'll have better questions. They weren't so terrible.
No, they were good.
A couple of older ones, but
they were good.
Whatever. Davis Alexander, by the way, my question, he is going to be in studio tomorrow. I'm very excited. I'm an Alouettes fan. I watched the game over the weekend. He's going to be here. Very nice young man. He is 19-1 since taking over as the Alouettes starting quarterback. No one has ever done that in CFL history, had a start to a season or a career. And had a record like that. So looking forward to having him here tomorrow. What time's he coming in, Alice? Did he say what time is he going to be here?
Yeah, around 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Okay. Let's get you caught up. When we come back, we're going to check in with James Meny of the Montreal Gazette. He'll join us next.
Montreal Now is brought to you by Dormez-vous. Get serious about sleep at Dormez-vous with up to 20% off mattresses, pillows, sheets, and more. Limited time only. Restrictions apply.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Oh my gosh. Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus, now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen.
Cheers.
Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap watch.
You're listening to the voice of Montreal.
News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
An iHeartRadio station.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it.
Oh my God.
Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus, now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen.
Cheers.
Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap watch.